Like keeping you up to date, if you hadn't noticed the snow, it's been falling since last night, and it is still falling. There you see Ball Arena, got a big NBA game there tonight. The city skyline is hiding in the low clouds and the murk.
Denver's plows have been out since, well, last night and again early this morning. The snow has not kept drivers off the roads. Here's a look at I-70 in Wadsworth. Not a lot of traffic, though, out there.
Now a look around our region. Lookout Mountain, top left. The Weather Service says about 7 inches have fallen there. The Eisenhower Tunnel is down at the bottom right, and always exciting down there. You can't really see the traffic, but it's been moving pretty good. Also, there's Fort Collins and Greeley, so wherever you go, the snow is there to greet you.
No one got out of this one without getting some. And there's another squall. Right now, we are under a winter weather advisory until midnight. Look at Kathy.
Kathy's in the snow. She's got the ruler out.
That's right. I feel like Elsa, you know, from Frozen. I'm trying to turn it off, and instead it's just getting crazier out here. And then you swallow them and they go up your nose and it tickles because they're really big flakes like corn chips right now. Or corn flakes. Woo. Anywho, live from the snow globe that is the 9 News backyard, and this is a live look at downtown Denver where you cannot see the city. Yep, another band of snow is coming through. So eventually this snow will be tapering off as we move through the next 2 or 3 hours, but travel has been interesting on I-70 and I-25 today as temperatures are now in the lower teens. 12 degrees at DIA, 19 downtown, and 14 in Greeley. But you factor in the wind, although light for some areas, our wind chill is well below zero for areas just south and east of downtown, and these numbers will go colder. Tracking a center of circulation over southern Colorado, making its way east along the Colorado-New Mexico line. Flow around that low is counterclockwise, so the heavier bands are coming back toward the Front Range. We're seeing in the dark purple those heavier bands outside of Flagler, Burlington, and Ray, where we're seeing the snow really start to pile up. We're seeing another snow band move through the metro area with some improvement north up around Fort Collins and Greeley. We remain under that winter weather advisory that Kim mentioned through midnight. The area in blue includes Denver, Broomfield, and Boulder. South, the area in red is a winter storm warning, which is now extended into Nebraska and Kansas, where many areas will see up to a foot of snow by the time this is all said and done. Futurecast timing shows the snow is just not going to give it up. We do have the snow bands continuing off and on until about midnight, and finally some clearing, but then temperatures will drop into the single digits. You will wake up to sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures hovering in the teens now, where we'll stay between now and 10 o'clock. You're gonna love the weekend forecast, but a little more snow and cold to get to tonight, you guys, and so I'm going to detail the timing and additional accumulation amounts coming up.
Yeah, we got to get to that forecast.
Yeah. Our snow coverage is continuing right now with meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen and Jaleesa Rosari, both out in the elements.
Let's start with Corey and his beard out in the snow. Where are you, Corey?
Well, I'm standing right in front of the Denver skyline, although it has completely disappeared in another one of these bigger squalls with some bigger snowflakes coming down here. Now, we got some decent snow totals, 3 to 6 inches across the Denver metro area. Like I said, that's kind of a decent total, but it doesn't live up to what February has become for us. The last 3 out of the last 4 Februaries have been the biggest snow month in Denver, and that has been a trend that has been continuing. But you know, the only thing I like to look at more than this snow is the graphs, the bar graphs about snow. So let's take a look at that, and it shows you that over the last 141 years, if you include every snowfall in the city of Denver, clearly March is the biggest month with 11.4 average, and February is way back there in 4th place. But if you only look at the last 13 years, it's February that's made the big jump, and it's got the 11.5-inch average, while all the other months have gone backwards. So February is actually making a big charge to become Denver's snowiest month, and that kind of fits the climate change narrative, guys, because if you look at the climate modeling, it says that the winters will get shorter and more extreme. So that kind of fits into this, what's happening here with February and March in Denver. And as far as it is out here right now, it's doing a good job of adding a few more, a little bit more to those totals as we go, because we're getting some pretty good snow into the Denver metro area here. I-25 starting to slow down here. So let's go to someone who's been keeping a close eye on those roads out there. Jaleesa Rosari, I believe you're in the car right now.
I am in a car, nice and warm. We are the southern part of the metro Denver area where the snow has stopped for the most part, it seems like right over here, but the roads are still slick. Take a look. We are on I-25 headed north here. As you can see, there is still some snow on the road, but plows have definitely done some work to it. CDOT tells us they went into snow mode on Tuesday morning, pre-treating these roads. They say since then it has been all hands on deck as crews try to clear the snow that has fallen throughout the day. CDOT says while this is not the worst storm we've seen, drivers should still be cautious. We asked CDOT what drivers should expect for this evening commute. This is what they had to say.
The more motorists that are out there, the more crashes that we are going to experience. And obviously that's going to be more challenging for our crews out there. Our crews are out there in full force doing everything that they can to increase the traction of the roads, but they still will be slick.
And as the temperatures continue to drop throughout tonight, expect those roads to continue to be slick. If you have to be out and about today, give yourself some time on the roadway. Make sure that you give yourself some space in between cars and just be safe. Kim and Tom.
All right, make room for the plow drivers as well. Thanks to Lisa. As you might expect, this snow has caused some problems with flights getting to and from and in and out of DIA. So far today, the website FlightAware shows there have been nearly 800 delays. The number of cancellations lower though, 167 of those. Here's a stunner. Southwest had the highest number of cancellations today, but United has delayed the most flights. Loveland ski patrollers are taking the first step towards forming a union, submitting a petition for a representation election to the National Labor Relations Board. Kevin Donaldson, who's been a patroller at Loveland for 7 years, told us they want better compensation and benefits. Donaldson told us turnover is rising because it's just hard to afford to be a patroller, especially if you have a family. He says that's causing the industry to get younger and less experienced, which can be dangerous.
Really, the big thing is worker safety and being able to retain more experienced patrollers, which contributes to a safer working environment because it requires a lot of experience to be able to safely manage this mountain.
The next step for patrollers is the vote itself, which would take place in about 4 to 6 weeks from now.
A series of new reports shows significant differences in the way certain racial and ethnic groups are prosecuted here in Colorado. The findings are part of a 2-year-long study of DA's offices in the state. And 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow has the details.
More Black and Hispanic individuals than we would expect came into the justice system, were arrested, came into the justice system.
Dr. Lauren Gase heads the Colorado Prosecutorial Dashboards Project, a program launched last September to provide more just and transparent prosecutions in the state.
Colorado is the first state in the nation to move toward this type of data-driven prosecution effort.
Initially, 8 district attorneys' offices covering the entire metro Denver area took part, and the project's researchers looked at tens of thousands of cases between 2017 and 2022.
We do see some evidence of disparity.
According to Dr. Gase, there are 3 headlines from the project's first report. A disproportionate number of cases involving Black defendants were dismissed or had their charges reduced. A disproportionate number of cases involving Hispanic defendants resulted in guilty pleas. And in some jurisdictions, a disproportionate number of cases involving Hispanic or Native American individuals were sentenced to incarceration.
I think in general, our findings are in alignment with other work that's been done.
Gase says while the conclusions are clear, the reasons behind the racial inequities are not.
Any difference we see between Black and Hispanic and white individuals could be due to a variety of different factors.
These findings certainly have to drive us to do more work.
Boulder DA Michael Doherty says the project is already paying dividends. Based on some of the project's findings, his office recently made adjustments to its adult diversion program.
This goes directly to our mission of community safety because we're doing this for all the right reasons, but we're also doing it to build more trust and equity in the justice system.
The project recently added 5 more DA's offices. As a result, it now includes more than half of the state's judicial districts, representing 75% of Colorado's population. Tom?
When you talk about disproportionate, you are talking about those cases versus the general population.
Exactly. The number of cases that were prosecuted or found guilty compared to the percentage of that group in the population.
All right, Matt, thanks.
Work is underway to ensure the water our kids drink is safe. The state health department's plan coming up.
And water restrictions are coming to Aurora residents. Details on when that'll happen and what those restrictions might be coming up.